Technology. In the last class, we have discussed what is CSS, different types of CSS. Those are inline, internal CSS and external CSS. Then we have seen what are different box models we have, and the box properties, table properties, link properties, etc. And in this session, I just wanted to give you a gist on CSS layout, where whatever the HTML page you are designing, that's having a normal flow. So if you wanted to give a floating point or positioning the elements towards the right, or by giving the margins from left to top or right, okay, bottom. So in that way you can just make it floating the elements or positioning the elements by using the CSS. So what is CSS layout? CSS layout techniques allows us to take elements. So what are the elements? Elements are nothing but whatever you are inserting in your web page, and control where they are positioned relative to the following factors. So default position in a normal layout and other elements around them like padding, border, margin, etc. Then around them and their parent container. Parent container, suppose you have a h2 tag, okay, and you have some paragraph tag. Suppose whatever you are giving in this paragraph tag, you wanted to make a separate styling for this paragraph tag. Then what you have to do, p dot the styling whatever you wanted to do, that you can assign. So this will become a h2 will become a parent element for this p tag. So therefore if you want to inherit the same properties here, then this parent container class will be used. And the main viewport or the window, that's a current window page, and the page layout techniques will be covering more detail about the normal flow, floats and also positioning elements. So what is a normal flow? So you all remember what is a list. So here you have unordered list, example of UL is nothing but a unordered list. So what is unordered list? So you don't have any orders, just you will give a bullets followed by the list that you wanted to give. So by cat food, exercise, cheer up friend. 3 points are there. Okay. So what is these three? These three are of list, okay, which are unordered. So there is no particular order, so obviously you will give a circular bullets. So it's the p tag. This is a normal flow where you are not assigning any styling. So you wanted to assign a floating point elements or floating elements styling, and floating an element changes the behavior of that element, okay, and the block level elements that follow it in the normal flow. The floated element is moved from left to right and removed from the normal flow. Surrounded, the contents floats around it. So what is the float? Possible values are left, right, none, inherit. You know what, if there is a text like this, if you wanted to put an image here, okay, but this margin is missing, your image will be here. So if you are giving left, then your image will be here, all this text will be displayed here. Okay, so that alignment or that proper positioning of floating elements can be done using this left. Float elements to the left, floats the elements towards the right. Suppose if you want an image here, okay, then if you just put it in the align equals to right also is okay. But in CSS you have a float towards the right, and none, no floating. So this is the default value. If you assign left or right, then it will take, otherwise none will be assigned. Then inherit specifies the value of the float that is inherited from the element of the parent element. So as I told you, if you have suppose if you have a p tag and again you have a p tag in the below, then 2 p tags are there. So if you wanted to assign the p tags styling to this p tag, then we will inherit the properties of that. Okay, so that is inherit. So these are the possible values you have for floating. So this is an example program where I wanted to explain how your left, right or none or inherit is going to work. There is a program with a div tag. So this div tag is having one float. So what is the syntax of floating is float colon the particular value. Possible values are left, possible value is right, possible value is none, and also inherit can be used. So all these values can be assigned to float. So that is floating. Okay. What is its padding? So I have given floating should be done for div tag and padding is 15 pixels is given. If I give div 1, div 2, okay, div 3, then background colors are assigned. So div 1 is this box where I have assigned a background of red. Div 2 is this where I have assigned yellow. Div 3 is this where I have assigned green. So what are these div 1, div 2, div 3? These three are different elements that you are using the same properties of div for all. Okay, what is that? Towards the left. So whatever first is given, that is starting at the left, then towards its left your the continuation of that floating is done, therefore div 2 and div 3. Okay, so this is how a floating will work. So let us execute this program. So here whatever the styling is done, that is given in between the style tag, in between the head tag. Style tag should be given in between the head tag. In the body, we are going to give whatever the body wanted to display. So this will be float next to each other. This is H2 and this is paragraph P and these are the div classes. This is div. So what is happening in this div? Class 1 you have given div 1. So dot div 1 is a class that you are going to write for div 1. What is the class name? That is a div 1. Okay, what is need to be done? So div 1 properties styling should be assigned to this text. So div 1 the background we have given is as red. So you are getting it as a red color. Then we have given two more classes here. So class 2 and class 3. What is the class 2? Div 2 and third class I am giving div 3. For all these we have assigned the styling in the style tags. So that is going to affect in the program. So let me show you this example of how it works. Let me take a notepad. Whatever the program I have written for floating, using div 1, div 2, div 3, just I am taking into my notepad. Okay, all the three classes I have defined. First three classes in the head part, then after three classes we are giving a heading along with a paragraph, and also we are defining what is div tag and how it is need to be affected in the floating elements. Okay, so just save it. So I am just giving here style 4.css, not CSS, it is okay if you are giving HTML because you are giving a inline CSS. So internal CSS you are going to give here. Okay, let us execute. Style 4. So this is what you are getting. What had happened here? Whatever the text you have given in the head 2 has defined, printed, and the P tag is also printed, and div 1, div 2, div 3, the three elements are assigned some styling with the background colors, those are affected. And towards left, once div 1 is completed, then from there only, from the left only, div 2 is also getting displayed. So what I will do, I will just make it for styling. Okay, let me make it as right. Okay, only in the style for div part I have made it towards right. Then what I need to do, I will just refresh this. So you are getting towards the right, but see that div 1 towards the right, then continuation of that div 2 is printed towards its right, and div 3. Okay, like that. So this is what floating means. Okay, so I am making it left back. Okay, so this is how your floating is working. Then moving further, we'll see what are positioning elements. So floating only 4 values is there, left, right and none or inherit. So positioning is nothing but where exactly your elements need to be positioned. So position property specifies the type of positioning method. What is a positioning method? Whatever the element you are giving, there are few possible values that can be assigned for position. The syntax for writing a position is position colon the possible values. What are they? Static, relative, absolute, fixed, sticky. Okay. Static. Static means it's a default value. If you are not assigning any position value, then defaultly it will take as static only. So elements render in order as they appear in the documentation flow. So how we assign the static? Position colon and the value is static here. So HTML are position static and are not affected by top, bottom, left, right properties. Suppose if this is your window, okay, in this window where your static element, whatever, suppose if you are giving a static for image, so your image will be displayed at the top of your screen in your output. Suppose if your taskbar is something like, your status bar is something like this and you have something, your window is printing your output here. So then where you will get? So from here your web page is starting to print. So then this is your static place. Okay. Then absolute. Absolute is first position which is not a static element. Fixed, whatever the padding, margins and wherever you give, so there itself your image or any other element values will get printed. And relative is nothing but, suppose if you are giving left 20 pixels, it adds 20 pixels to the left. Relative, however you give, so it will implement that. Sticky means if you have a web page and you have a scrolling here, the content whatever you have, if you are scrolling, it will go up and down. But whatever the sticky thing you are giving, suppose I am sticky. So this line, whatever you are giving, this paragraph will be there only, even though if you are scrolling, so this will not get disturbed. Only this content will go up or this content will come down. I'll show you while executing the program. Okay, and initial set the properties to the default value, initializing the values. So that is that. Inherit is its parent element. To inherit the properties from its parent element, we give inherit. So these are the possible values you have for positioning elements. So here is an example where I am giving the position as absolute with a left 100 pixel with a top 150 pixels. Let me show you this. I am taking a new file. Okay, where I have given H2 is a heading tag and position I have given it to absolute. Okay, so this is my heading tag and also one simple paragraph I have taken. After head 1, I am giving head 2. So this is a heading with absolute position and this is a position property. H1 is a normal heading that I have given and I have given few paragraph here. Okay. So if I save this, style 5.html. Okay. So what happens? See, let me execute this. So this is the output you are getting. So where is your absolute position? So what is the margin we have given here? So 100 pixels towards the left. Suppose let me make it as 200. Okay. So just refresh this. So it is moving towards right because we are giving the left margin which is going to affect your absolute position. Okay. Okay. From top if I give 250. See, coming down. So this is absolute where you are giving the positions for your text. Okay, but you have a paragraph also here, right? This is your paragraph. Okay, this is your head 1 and this is your head 2. Why it is only affecting head 2? Because in your program we have given styling only for head 2. In the H2 only we have given position absolute, left margin and the top margin. Okay. So, this is how you can give your position elements. Then moving further, I will show you one more example for fixed value. So, where is fixed? Suppose if I give the same program, if I remove this absolute to fix, then what happens? So, div dot fixed also I can give. So, this is my class, okay, div, class name I have given is fixed. So, div dot fixed I am changing the styling with position, bottom 0, right 0, width 300 pixels, border 3 pixels solid and some color I have given, okay. So, to this class I am going to affect this. Then what happens? Here is the output. This div element has position fixed. So, where it is getting? At the bottom you are getting, at the bottom 0, right 0. So, towards the right you are getting, width you are getting 300 pixels, right. So, let me show you this execution. So, div I have taken div element, but class, what is the class that I have given? Fixed. Okay. So, div dot fixed I am changing the styling. Okay. So, just div dot fixed, inside the style I am giving what are the properties I wanted to assign, I am giving. Okay. Now, see the execution. Towards bottom you are getting, bottom 0, right side you are getting, suppose make it left, okay. I will give left here, okay, and here I will make it top, width say 500, clear. Let me refresh. So, where you are getting? Top you are getting, towards left you are getting, width you are getting and also color, border you are getting solid, okay. The same on the top, if I wanted to make it right, I will change the value to right. See here, towards right you are getting. So, what is this? This is called as positioning the elements according to the requirements of the user to print it wherever required on the web page. Okay. So, this is how you do the styling inside the style tag. Okay. So, here I am also showing you how the classes can be defined in your HTML. Then, moving further, I will show you what is sticky. Okay. So, this is sticky, HTML positioning element div dot sticky I have given. So, class I have taken sticky. So, that is why div dot sticky I am giving here. So, what is the class name? Div dot sticky. So, this sticky I am giving here, okay, in the styling. What is the position? This is optional. Actually, this can be used in Safari. Other browsers you can use position sticky. So, top 0, padding 5 pixels, background color you are giving and the border 2 pixels solid color you are giving. So, what are these? These are the properties of your div tag. What is there in the div tag? And for style also, this is a inline CSS you are giving. So, what is inline CSS? Which can be given inside the element. So, what is the styling? Padding bottom 2000 pixel, okay, and some paragraph you have given, 2 paragraphs you have given, okay. And for this div sticky, I am sticky is the text which will be affected with this one, okay. Let me show you this example also, okay. As you want scrolling, I have taken some sort of text here because you have to give a larger text to get a scrolling, right. So, this is my style part. So, where in the style part I have given div dot sticky, all should be affected by the position, okay, position value, fixed we have seen, absolute we have seen. Similarly, you can replace absolute or fixed with a relative and check, and sticky I am showing you top 0 and padding 5 pixel, background color I have given, border I have given. So, this is the styling I have done. I am taking few more elements with p and div tags in my body, and to make it scrolling I will take a larger paragraph also, okay. Now, if you execute this, so you are getting I am sticky, at the top, because we have given it the top, background and also the border, all this done. Now if you scroll, see what happens? Your text is getting scrolled, but whatever the sticky notes you have given, that is not scrolling, its position is fixed. I am sticky is not getting scrolled. So this is how you can use this positioning elements for positioning the elements, means whatever the tags that you are using in the HTML, either towards the right, towards left, or towards the bottom or towards the top according to the requirement. And also you can also use these positioning elements with floating elements also. Floating elements can also be used with different styling properties. So these are the different styling properties that we have assigned. Okay. Hope you all understood. So what is the summary of today's session is, we have discussed what is a CSS layout. CSS layout, a complete window with different elements. So normal layout, where normal HTML program you will write. So I have shown you an example of list. Floating elements, where you have a float colon, either left, right, none, inherit. Then positioning elements, you can give static, relative, absolute, sticky, and default values. Values can also be given. Inherit can also be done, which will be inheriting the parent element properties to its child elements. Okay. Hope you all understood. Practice more on these different values, so you will be doing good in these programs. Thank you all.